Alright, in today's video I'm going to give gold investors and traders a little pep talk. So let's start off and look at the big picture, because as it always happens, as we're moving down into these intermediate cycle lows, gold investors get very despondent, very depressed. You hear the same thing at every one of them. Gold's a broken market. It's never going up. The same thing every time. But let's take a look at the big picture here. The big picture is this huge cup and handle pattern is still intact. And right now we're still building out this handle. This is a really large pattern, almost 10 years. So it's, a year and a half, 2 years, it is not out of the question for this handle consolidation to build out. So I don't know whether or not we're going to make a lower low here. We're pretty close. My original feeling was that we weren't, but we've had some major attacks on silver and miners, and I've warned people for months now that's where the cartel likes to focus their efforts now, is just taking down the miners and silver. And if they can hit them hard enough, very often, eventually gold will finally give up and follow. So I don't want to put a lot of capital into mining stocks. I don't really want to trade silver. All I want to do is accumulate. Anytime the cartel gives me artificially low prices, I want to just buy more. Say it again, $100 silver is going to be a piece of cake. It doesn't mean it's going to be an easy path there. It's going to be very difficult. There are going to be countless cartel attacks to try and stop that. But I'll also say that while the cartel is going to win a lot of battles, they are not going to win the war. Silver is going to go to 100 and probably much higher than that. But it's going to be a battle the whole way there. So the more despondent and frustrated traders get, usually the bigger the move is once it comes. So right now we are just building an incredible amount of frustration in this handle, and that's going to be the fuel for when the breakout does occur. It's going to be a big move. So the last time we saw this kind of sentiment was right here. This decline just went on week after week after week, and people just gave up on the metals. Metals were never going to go anywhere, and then you look what happened. Gold went from a little under $1,200 to over $2,000. So this built the fuel for this gigantic move. We're doing the same thing right here. We're getting everybody frustrated. The cartel is succeeding. Their attacks are working, and they're keeping this locked in this handle. But they haven't broken the bull market. Price is not below a rising 200-week moving average. And all we're doing, actually, price just got really stretched quite far above this 200-week moving average here. And as I've noted before, there's two ways that you can correct this kind of stretch. You can either have a really sharp correction going that takes price back down. That's what's happening in the stock market. Or you can just go sideways. That's what's happening in oil, and that's what's happening in gold. We're just going sideways, and the cartel has their mandate to try and keep gold suppressed below 2,000. Just like they had their mandate to try and keep gold suppressed below whatever this was, about 1360, 1370, and eventually the fundamentals break the manipulation, and when they do, then you get an oversized move to the upside, and that's exactly what happened right here. It's exactly what's going to happen right here. So we are in what I think is the final phase of this intermediate decline. And again, now I'm down to the daily level here. It was pretty clear the cartel was trying to stop gold from getting back above the 200-day moving average. We had this blatant attack right here when the buyers came in, and this was on a day when the dollar was up. We had this big reversal of the upside, and then the next morning a huge attack to stop that, and then more attacks to keep this below the 200-day moving average. So the cartel is winning this war right now, or the battle right now, but they're not going to win this war. Now, whether or not they are going to succeed in pushing this below this pivot here and stretching this intermediate cycle a little longer, it would be at 46 weeks right now. And I warned people that this was going to happen when we got our bottom here. I said the first daily cycle is probably not going to go anywhere. It's going to churn sideways. The cartel is going to try and keep the metals suppressed, especially now the Fed is trying to fight inflation. They're going to throw everything they can at the metals to try and keep the metals suppressed and hope that keeps the inflation somewhat in check. It won't. But right now the attacks are working, and they may succeed in breaking this low and negating this as the intermediate cycle low. But that doesn't mean that they're going to stop the bull market. All it means is that we're just going to add one more daily cycle to this intermediate decline, and then we'll get our bottom somewhere on a break of this pivot. I don't think there's much chance that they could break below this pivot, but they may succeed in breaking gold below here, and especially they're attacking silver especially hard today. And in fact, they're giving anybody that that has the ability to control their emotions, you're getting an incredibly cheap buying opportunity to accumulate some more physical silver right now. I just don't know whether this is the exact bottom of the daily cycle. Maybe if we get a big reversal today, that we might get a bottom on a retest of this low. But the cartel is going to try really hard to break this, and if they do, then that just resets the cycle count. So instead of being on week 5, we would go to week 46, and then we would wait for a swing, and then instead of losing 5 weeks going nowhere, then we would be back on week number 1 once we get a bottom. But we're close. This daily cycle is very mature. So instead of getting despondent and giving up on the metals, you've got to realize that the cartel is creating an opportunity here, just like they created an opportunity back in 2018 at about 1170. That 1170 bottom, where everybody had given up on metals, produced a rally all the way to and above $2,000. So the same thing is happening here. We're creating the fuel to eventually break out of this handle pattern and break that manipulation. And when we do, we're going to have a big move. So try and think logically. Try and control your emotions. This is an opportunity, especially in silver, to accumulate more physical. I wouldn't try and trade too much. The market's just too heavily manipulated by the cartel. They're just going to whipsaw you to death trying to trade the mining stocks and even GLD and SLV. But they are going to give you great opportunities to accumulate more physical, and ultimately that physical is going to get you to that $100 silver and I think probably considerably above $100 silver. And the only way really that you're going to get there is with physical trading. You're just not going to get there. I didn't see anybody that was able to trade and get from that $1,100. Let me widen this again, but I didn't see any traders that were able to get from this bottom to this top. The cartel just beat on people too much and whipsawed them, and they, most people didn't really make much of anything on this entire move. But if you were holding physical silver or physical gold right here, then you rode the entire rally. The cartel was not able to knock you out, and you could have made some big money. Same thing's going to happen here. If they want to give us artificially cheap prices, we're going to take it, and we're going to get positioned, because sooner or later we're going to have another move like this, and the only way we're going to really profit on the entire move is by holding your physical silver or gold. You're not going to be able to trade in and out and avoid the cartel attacks and make any money trading in this market. It's just too difficult. It's too heavily manipulated. So pretty soon here, we're going to get an opportunity to accumulate some more physical silver and gold, and get into position for that move to $100 silver. Again, it's not going to be an easy ride to get there, but it is going to get there, and the only way you're going to get there completely intact and make all of the profits from where we're at now to 100 is almost certainly is going to be in physical silver and physical gold.